Okay guys, so here is the next type of factoring that you're going to learn to do. The difference between this one and the ones we've done so far is that now there's a number besides 1 in front of our x squared. Now we did do 1 like this last time, but the number that was in front of x squared was the greatest common factor and we were able to take it out. So first let's check that. Is there a greatest common factor here? 6, 7, and 3. Is there a number that goes into all three of those? The answer to that is no. Okay? Then look at your x's. We have x's on all of them except the last term, so we can't take an x out either. So we're going to move on to factor pattern, okay, which we can do here because we have that pattern of a squared, then an x, then a constant. Remember, our top number comes from multiplying these two, so that makes negative 18, and down here makes negative 7. We're going to do the same thing as before. Do I need 2 positives, 2 negatives, or 1 of each? To get a negative on the top, I definitely have to have 1 of each. Which one do I need more of? To add up to a negative, I need more negatives, okay? So I'm going to go through my factors. 1 times 18, I need more negatives, so will that work? That does not make negative 7. 2 times 9, I need more negatives, so does that work? Yes, that does work. Now, this type of problem requires another step, because watch, if I were to write this as my answer like we did last time, and then I were to check my answer by multiplying back together again. When I multiply x times x, I only get x squared. But what did I start with? I started with a 6x squared. So this cannot be the answer. It will not make 6x squared. It will just make an x squared. That's why before it worked for the ones that just had x squareds at the beginning. So anytime you have a number in front of your x squared other than 1 that you cannot factor out as a greatest common factor, you have to move on and do a box. You never thought you'd be doing X box in math, did you? So here's your box. Remember, your first term is going to go in the first box. So first term, first box, 6x squared. Your last term is going to go in the last box. Last term, last box. Your middle term has to go in the middle box. Well, there's 2 middle boxes. That's where these come from, okay? I'm going to put negative 9x and 2x. I have to put x's on these because if I were to combine negative 9x and 2x as like terms, they would make negative 6x. So these are our middle terms right here, okay? Now, it doesn't matter if you mix these up. Like if I put the 2 up here, I put the 9 down here, that wouldn't matter, okay? I like to put things next to things I know have common factors. Like I know 9 and 6 have a common factor. But it doesn't matter where you put them, it will still work out. So your next job will be to look for a greatest common factor in the top. So 6 and 9, what number goes into both of those? 3. Do they both have an x I can take out? Yes. Do they have more than one x that I can take out? No, that one only has 1. So what number would go up here? 2. The reason why, 2 times 3 makes 6. But I also need an x, because x times x makes x squared. So again, 2x times 3x makes 6x squared. Now I need to figure out what goes here. I have a 3x. I'm taking it out of this, so that makes negative 3. I don't need an x because there's only one x in here. So 3x times negative 3 makes negative 9x. If I put an extra x here, that would make x squared inside there, so that wouldn't work. So be careful with that. Now I'm going to look down here. 2x times what makes 2x? It's a 1. Positive 1. Now let's just make sure it works here. Negative 3 times 1 makes negative 3. It does. As long as that works, I know I'm right. So my answer would be 3x plus 1, 2x minus 3. And now if you look, if I multiply these together, what's 3x times 2x? It's 6x squared, which is what I started with at the top. Okay, so that's why this one has a little bit more work for it. So remember, number in front of your x squared besides 1 requires more work.